Hello, women of the world. Welcome to Her Vision, Her Empire, where we celebrate the strength, ambition, and dreams of women like you who are forging their own paths in the world of entrepreneurship. Remember, it's time to build your empire, one vision at a time. Hello, women of the world. I am your host, Sadie, and welcome back for another episode of my podcast. Today we are interviewing Kristi Young from PYE Games. Welcome, Kristi. How are you doing today?
So great.
That's good.
Crazy, but great,
Yeah. Well, introduce yourself to us. How many kids do you have? What do you do? What do you like to do for fun?
Oh, all of the things. So my husband and I have 4 sons, which is super fun. Our oldest is 14 and our youngest is 7. And so they eat just everything all the time. I've been threatening to just move into Costco. Just like start a running bill there. But yeah, no, we do all kinds of stuff. We read, we play a lot of family games. Which is a good segue into our business, which is PYE Games. We love board games as a family. And yeah, that's kind of that's just about. I mean, I love to read. I love doing craft projects and things like that, but I don't always have tons of time for that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun, all of those different things. I love to read myself. It's one of the many ways I can relax.
Yes.
Yeah. So, tell us about your business. How did it start? What's the story behind it? How long have you been doing it?
Yeah. So lots of good questions. So, my husband has been working as a delivery person he worked for 12 years delivering bread and delivering linens and things like that. Anyway, he worked delivery jobs, and he would work from 4 a.m. to noon every day. And so it was very similar to a night shift. And so there was a lot of times, he would need to sleep during the day, and it was just kind of, it was a struggle. So he spent a lot of time trying to do something else, trying to branch into something different. He got his degree, his associate's degree in business. And then he did some other things. He wrote some books. He's invented all kinds of different games and things. And he had a game that he was working on that needed a way to track points. And he was playing with a fidget spinner and was like, I wonder if I could figure something out that you could spin around that would track points. Anyway, and so we had some good friends that they were really getting into 3D printing at the time. And so their names are James and Becca Geyer, and James and Paul worked together, and they got this design put together for a spinning counter. But then someone was like, you could randomize the numbers and turn it into dice, because Dungeons and Dragons is huge right now, and dice are a huge collector's item. And so we were like, okay, we'll try it, And so we decided to do a Kickstarter. And originally the Kickstarter was to sell these dice and kind of make some money to put back into the game so that he could develop that. Well, the Kickstarter was very successful. And we did 16,000 in sales on that, and it took us about 6 months to fulfill that. We got up to 12 printers that we were running and fulfilling. That was really fun. And then COVID hit. So this was 2019 into 2020 was our Kickstarter. So COVID hit, and we weren't sure what to do. We had the printers, we couldn't get the materials that we needed. And so we actually spent a while making, what were they called? The face shields. So it's like the
Oh,
mask, but
right.
like this shield that goes. So we were making those for hospitals, and we were making them at cost as kind of just a donation. We had the printers, we had the um, some materials, and yeah, so we did that at cost for them, and so that was a really cool project. And then we were kind of like, okay, what do we do now? Well, we had started a website for the spinners, just to have, because you just to start as a base for the Kickstarter. And
Mhm.
we had throughout 2020, from January to like November, we had done 19 sales on this website. So we were kind of like, I mean, it's hard to, it's hard. Marketing is hard to get out there, and we weren't sure what direction we were wanting to go. The game wasn't ready yet. We weren't sure what we were wanting to do. And so cut to November 9th, I think. It might have been 8th or 9th, 2020. And Paul was actually taking a nap. It was like 7:30 in the evening, and I had like kids in the bath, and I was like doing all these things, and he comes out of the bedroom, and he's got like one eye closed. He's like, what just happened? And I was like, oh my gosh, did I miss like an earthquake or something? Like, I don't even know, kids.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was like, yeah, I don't, like, what do you mean? And while we're talking, his phone is going like ding, ding, ding. And we're like, anyway, he's like, those are website orders. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's broken. That's what we really thought. We were like, oh my gosh, because we hadn't had an order for like 4 months. And we were like, so we were like, oh my gosh, for the last 4 months, has all of it been like not working? And now all of a sudden it's registering all these orders. Well, we're trying to figure this out. So we called James and Becca. We're trying to work out, like, what's going on. And then Paul checked his Instagram, and he had like 5 or 6 new follower requests. So before he accepted one of them, he was like, hey, do you mind my asking like where you found us? And she's like, oh, there's a TikTok video that someone made of your dice that's just going viral right now. And we were like, what's TikTok? We got caught up to the 21st century really quick.
Yeah.
So we downloaded TikTok, and we started following. And yeah, this lady had just made kind of a random video, and but it just picked up, and it ended up getting, I want to say it was like 1.3 million views.
Wow.
Which was awesome. And I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
she had like
amazing.
4,000 followers, I think, when she started. And then I think by the time the video was done, she got up to like 18 or 19,000 followers, I think, which was really exciting.
Wow.
And we sent her
Yeah.
some free stuff because, I mean, she had bought the item through the Kickstarter and like just made this, just to show what she had. And anyway, yeah, so we uh, kind of got going on that, and we had a lot of people, so we were getting all these orders. And at the time we had 12 printers, and within the first 24 hours, I think we had about 750 orders.
Oh
And
my
we were like,
gosh.
it took us 6 months to fulfill 400 orders at the beginning of the year. So we're like,
Oh, wow.
we're behind by like a year. Anyway, by the time all was said and done, over the next couple of weeks, we did a couple thousand sales, and we were like, we're like at least 5 years behind in our like
Mm-hmm.
processing. We had a lot of people though who were telling us, you should cut it off, like take your inventory down, don't keep selling. And we're like, no, it's always selling time, people are wanting
Yeah.
it right now. So what we did is we communicated with the customers and let them know. I mean, we were tiny, we had 12 printers, and we were like,
Yeah.
we're teeny tiny, we are scaling up, and we're going to fulfill these, and we'll keep you all posted. So we sent out emails very regularly to everyone who had ordered, and we stayed on top of it. It took us about 6 months to fulfill those first like 2,000 orders. But yeah, between November 9th and the end of 2020, we did about 100,000 in sales, which was incredible. Like, we didn't
Wow.
know
Yeah.
what to do or what. Anyway,
Yeah.
and so yeah, so we bought 65 printers. We rented out the basement of a big commercial building, and it was what we spent a lot of time there. For 6 months, Paul would go, so he would go deliver bread from 4 in the morning till noon, and then he would come straight to the we called it the dungeon because it didn't have any windows. And yeah,
Oh.
anyway, so he would come straight there and work on printers for the next 8 hours. And then he'd go home at 8. And I would come, so I'd take care of kids during the day, take them to school. And then after school, I would come in and I would work from about 4 p.m. till usually midnight or 1 a.m. doing the shipping. So he was running the production. I was doing the shipping. And we decided that he was getting to a point where he was going to be able to take out a profit sharing, kind of a retirement thing from the business that he was working for when he quit. And between that and selling our home that we had at the time, we were like, that's a pretty good chunk of money that we could put into building a home back in Idaho. We were living in Utah at the time, and we'd always wanted to find a way to move back home. And so we did. And so we kind of took the risk and bit the bullet and decided to have Paul quit his day job, and we moved back, and we planned to build a house, and various things happened, and that did not pan out. For a while, we were putting, more money into the business. It has always been profitable. We've never had to take out any loans or anything. But there's costs. There's a lot of costs that go into it. And so,
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so then we moved in with my parents. They have a big house, and we were living there with our 4 boys, and we were running printers, and had a couple of employees that were helping us. And then we discovered, so we were still doing the dice at this point. And then we discovered these flexible dragons designed by an awesome designer. Her name is Cinderwing 3D. And if you're in the 3D print world, you've probably heard of her. Probably sponsor her on Patreon. Anyway, so yeah, she's on Patreon, and you can follow her. Anyway, we pay for her designs. It's a monthly subscription. And we print these dragons. Well, we had 65 printers, and the spinners were still selling well. We had moved into the retail space, and so we were selling to game stores across the country and things like that. The website was slowing down. I mean, it was still moving a little bit, but anyway, we were kind of seeing that trend of that coming down a little bit. They still sell, but there's that big boom in the beginning, and we kind of saw that coming down. And anyway, so we started making these dragons, and people were like loving them. So by that point, I want to say we had like 20,000 followers or something on our TikTok page, and that's our main avenue.
Platform.
That's pretty much platform. That's pretty much what we use. And part of that is that we had a built-in audience. Like we already had. That's where all of those first sales came from, right? And so we already had this interactive community. And so anyway, so we started doing the dragons, and we went to a show. It was a convention it's called Gamma. So it was all of the game store owners across the United States are members of this, and people will come in and showcase their products for game store owners to come and see. So we went with a whole display option and stuff of the dice, but we also brought some dragons with us just for fun, and they sold so fast. We were like,
wow.
Okay, these are doing really well. And then Paul decided to sign up for like a Comic-Con, and went and we just made as many dragons as we could, and he went to it. And I want to say that first one, I think it ended up doing like $5,000 or $6,000 in sales in a week, and we were like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. So at this point, so then he started flying out to different shows almost every weekend. And we got to the point where we were like, he's never home, so he can't like run the printers. He's not with the family. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
And we decided at the end of the school year of 2022, May 2022, we bought an RV, and we decided to go travel the country, going to Comic Cons every weekend and selling our product. So we hired employees back um, at our home base, and they would ship the product to us, and we traveled. And we spent, I want to say, it's like 33 weeks or something on the road in 2022. And I actually, I'm not sure how many shows we hit, but it was a lot. And I mean, it was great, making. I think we averaged about $10,000 a show, which was amazing, and it paid for us to travel the country, which was amazing. We homeschooled our kids for a year, and I mean, it just what an opportunity, and it was something that I'd
Right.
always thought would be so fun and just
Mm-hmm.
so cool. And so um, we we did pretty well. I think the expenses of traveling were pretty intense, and so we were trying still to put stuff back into the online part of things, just because that's so much less expensive to sell that way.
Yeah.
Um, and then so we were selling mainly at shows, and then in May of this year, so we were still traveling in April, and in May, the TikTok Shop platform was released in the United States, and we jumped through a series of hoops to get uh, on there, on that platform, and we started selling the dragons on there, and they were an instant hit. It was crazy. So, I had decided to I was like, I think people will really like, because our kids watch, like, different, like, kids YouTube videos and stuff, and there's a lot of people who just open, like, surprise eggs or surprise toys, and that's, like, huge. It's a huge trend. So I was like, what if we
Yeah.
did surprise dragons? And we print eggs, and we put the dragons in the egg, and you don't know what color the dragon's going to be, and that has been huge. So that was the first product that we released on TikTok, and it's still our main seller. We only have one other item that we do on TikTok now, but it was insane, just instant hit. We went from, I think we were at about 50,000 followers by April or May of this year on TikTok. And now we're at 138,000 followers. So since May, we have sold 60,000 eggs on TikTok. Um, and we're up to 30 employees now, and we have 350 3D printers across, I think, 6 print farms, one of which is at your house.
Yeah.
Yes, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, my husband works for them, and we have 66 printers at our house in our garage. So,
yes, and he is amazing. We appreciate you guys so much, and everything that you guys do just helps us so much, and you guys have been a huge blessing for our business, so we really appreciate that.
thank you.
Yeah, it's been really neat. It feels like and you've kind of seen, as things grow, there's been a lot of things that feel almost orchestrated, that fall into place in ways that you're like, I couldn't have planned that better. We try to move
Yeah.
forward and, put printers in one place, and we have plans for it, and all of a sudden it falls through, and it's like, oh no. And then this new place opens up that's just, anyway, there's so many different things that have happened like that. And it feels very, I mean, we know that the Lord has blessed us a lot. And I think, and we talk about this a lot, but we are it's really important to us to give back to the community, and we feel like there's this responsibility that we have to all these families of the employees that are working for us, to keep the business going well, because it's supporting all of these other families. And in my mind, that's the reason that it's doing well, is to take care of all of these other people. And uh, and that's always been our goal, really, is to take care of other people. But it's been just a huge blessing for our family, obviously, and yeah, it's been incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And your eggs, they're called mystery eggs? Is that
Yes.
what they're called on
Um,
TikTok? Okay.
so, back when we first started on TikTok, there was something for some reason, we couldn't use the terminology mystery. That's gone now, but so it's
Hmm.
actually just called Dragon Egg. So we are PYE Games, PYE Games, which stands for Paul Young Entertainment. And so we spelled it PYE, and anyway, it's got a piece of pie on our logo, but anyway, yes,
Yeah.
because we do like pie. We like pie too, so. Um,
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, so we've obviously in that time, we've developed a whole ton of other products and toys and things like that that we make and sell on our website.
You've just listened to an episode of Her Vision, Her Empire. We upload a video every single week, so don't forget to hit subscribe or follow to not miss out on future content. If you'd like to support our podcast, we would absolutely love it if you left a review or shared it with someone you know that would benefit from this content. Links to our socials are found below in the show notes, and thanks again for listening. Until next time.